All right, good afternoon, traders. Hopefully, everyone is having a great weekend so far. Now, before we get into the show, I really want to thank all my subscribers. I really do appreciate you guys tuning in and watching. Now, if you're not a subscriber and you happen to be watching the show, go ahead and do so. I really do think you're going to get a lot of valuable information from my technical setups. Okay, with that, as you know, today is Sunday. We are going to go initially over the SPY, then we are going to go over the three stocks that I gave you from last week and see how they performed, and then I will give you three stocks that I think are technically setting up real nicely going into tomorrow. All right, with that, let's check out the SPY. So as you know, we made that new 52-week high back here on Wednesday in the SPY, and then since then we sold off on Thursday and Friday. We held this 20-day moving average real nicely. We closed above it, we tested it, dipped below, closed above it. So again, for tomorrow, see how we gap. It's really important to see how we gap. If we gap up higher and we gap above that 10-day moving average, I really do think this 52-week high right up here is going to be in play going into later in the week. Now, if we do gap lower, this is more important. What happens if we gap lower? Don't panic. There's going to be some support right down here at that 20-day moving average or that midpoint Bollinger Band, which happens to be 388 in the SPY. And then if we were not to hold that, we are going to go all the way down to this 50-day moving average right here at 386. So there's going to be a lot of support right there between 386 and 388. So watch that very carefully for tomorrow. Make sure if we do gap lower and we retest those, that'd be a great place to start putting some money to work. Now, if we just blow right through that 50-day moving average, we are clearly going to test the lows right here from early March back down here at 372. So again, see what happens on Monday tomorrow. See if we gap. Now again, if we can gap above that 10-day moving average of 392, all things are clear. Most likely we are going to retest and take out the 398 in the SPY. All right, guys, with that, we're going to try to run this quickly today. First one that we had recommended from Sunday's show was MX Magnachip. This one was a little bit of a it was unfortunate. I thought this was going to be a lot better. We did recoup a little bit of the losses that we made on Thursday. On Friday, MX right here, Magnachip. So if you remember from last Sunday's show, we were really close to that 52-week high. We, in fact, made that 52-week high. We came up on Monday, took out the previous day's Friday's high out, and then since then we hit that upper Bollinger Band, came back down. Now we're at this inflection point right here. If you are long, I wouldn't really have to worry too much. Again, you were right here at this midpoint Bollinger Band. We bounced right off that, so there's a high probability now that we are going to go higher. Now, if you're in the name and you want to know where your out would be, I would say you would have to give this a little bit of room and give this all the way down to this 50-day moving average right here. That's where my play is right here. I'm in it, so this is becoming more of a swing trade. I want to see how we open. Hopefully we can gap up and continue this nice uptrend that we're on in Magnachip. But if you did play it for the week, it did open at 23.40, closed at 22.47, so about $1.07 loss in Magnachip. Next stock that I did recommend from last Sunday show, was BlackBerry BB. Here's another one where on Monday took out the previous day's high, and then since then it came back down and has retested these key levels right here. We're at another inflection point. We're right above that 10-day moving average right here at that midpoint Bollinger Band, guys. We need a little bit of a push here to get back above this 50-day moving average on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. But again, if we do gap lower, I did say we need to hold the gap right here. I did say make your loss right down here, or your stop loss rather, down here at 10.03. So anything below 10.03 means this whole move was wrong, and there's probably a move lower in the name of BlackBerry. Okay, but again, if you played it for the week, it did open up at 12.09, closed at 10.95, so a loss of about a $1.14 on that one. Last stock that I did recommend from last Sunday show was MARA. So if you remember from last Sunday show, I said, look, we're already up here. Be patient in this one. There's going to be an opportunity to get better trade location. So again, if you waited and you were patient, it did touch this 10-day moving average. It actually dipped below this 50-day moving average here down here at 35 bucks intraday. If you were quick enough to catch it, you're sitting pretty now. This is what I'm talking about. Put your alerts in, watch these key levels right here, and then you'll be rewarded. Patience is key in these ones, okay? All right, that is MARA. If you got in at 41.01, it did close at 43.05, so that was you know, a $2 gain in that one. So it kind of made up for the last two ones, Magnum Chip and BlackBerry. Okay, that is Marathon. All right, guys, with that, let's quickly go over the three stocks that I think are setting up real nicely going into tomorrow. First one's going to be NVTA. All right, NVTA. So if you can see NVTA right here, NVTA made this nice little gap up on you know, back here a couple of weeks ago on March 9th. That had to do with Kathy Woods coming out saying this is probably one of the most disruptive companies in that diagnostic space, and since then it has made a nice not only gap, guys, it hasn't filled and it hasn't lost that gap since we've made that nice gap up here, right? So that's a really good sign. You know, it's not like we gapped up and then quickly sold off. There's a lot of confidence in this name, and if you know, in the last couple of weeks we've had some really bad market days, and this name has held up, which gives us a lot of confidence going forward. I wanted to wait for this one to see if we can hold this 10-day moving average, that 200-day moving average, or back above it. So again, for tomorrow, this is the way you play it. Wait for that first 30-minute time frame. Now, if we can get above this, you know, the close of, the high from Friday right here, right away, get long and clearly use the low from Friday as your stop price. Okay, it's that easy. The risk reward setup is going to be really nice. It's a $2 move. Okay, so you're going to know right away if we get in the name, you get long it on a breakout above Friday's high, and then use obviously Friday's low as your stop price. Okay, that is NVTA. All right, second stock on the list that looks really good going into tomorrow is going to be VRTX, Vertex. Now this one has based for a very long time after making that 52-week high. It's gapped down on that earnings report back here on the 27th of October, and since then it's based really nicely. Look, guys, I listened to the conference call. I don't want to get too involved in the fundamentals of the name, but everything looks really good. It's trading at about a 10-11 PE. It's going to make over $10 a share going into this coming year. I really do think if you can get long this name above Friday's high, I think this would be a great risk reward setup with clearly using not Friday's high. We're going to use low. We're going to use Thursday's low as your stop, which happens to be right down here at 1265. So put your stop in at 1225. You know, get long above, again, above 217, let's call it, and then your stop is going to be below that 212.50. Okay, that is VRTX, setting up real nicely right here going into tomorrow and the rest of the week. Last stock that this one's going to be a pretty high beta name, so you're going to have to be very careful with this one. Really do like the setup. It's AVXL. This is one that we've played in the past, all the way back here when it was like, you know, $3, $4, $5 all the way here. We made that nice jump on here out. Unfortunately, I missed the really big move. I made some money in this name, but now since that big move right here, we came back down. Look, guys, we didn't even touch this 50-day moving average. That is a great sign. Usually when you see a move like this in a name, it's going to come right back down, touch that 50-day moving average before making another step up. This one did not do that. We're back above that 10-day moving average, that midpoint Bollinger Band, and that 50. That's all lined up really nicely. We got the 10 over the 50, 50 over the 200. We're right here touching this value area high. Take a look. There's not many shares traded above us, which means what? There's not going to be much resistance going forward. So again, watch this for Monday. See if we can get above Friday's high, which happens to be 1521. We get long this one. Hopefully we can trend between that 10-day moving average and that upper Bollinger Band. That's always a good sign when we start trending in between those two ranges. That usually portends bigger and really strong moves to the upside. So watch this real carefully. If you want to get in, maybe there's a quick shakeout right here early in the morning. Now, if we do get in this name, where is my stop price? It's going to be right here at this midpoint Bollinger Band or that 20-day moving average. Remember, guys, the midpoint Bollinger Band and the 20-day moving average are one and the same. Okay, so again, if you get long, use that right here as your stop price. That is AVXL. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining me on this beautiful Sunday afternoon. My name is Eric. Again, if you have any questions, please feel free to leave them down below. I'll make sure to get right back to you with any questions you may have on technical analysis. Now, if you happen to be watching the show, haven't seen it before, and you like what I have to say, go ahead and subscribe. I really do appreciate it. I give you the ins, the outs, why we're getting in, why we're getting out. We try to keep our losses small and let our winners run. Okay, guys, thanks again. We will see you Wednesday on the midweek recap show. And again, remember, trade smart and be safe.